So welcome everyone. I do recognize some of you I don't. I'm Anna Pimenta from Landcare Victoria. I'm the development coordinator at Landcare Victoria. And we are today hosting this event, online event that is an opportunity for RuralBiz Training to tell you about the new opportunity for Landcare professionals. So I wanted, first of all, to start this webinar by acknowledging the country. So I respectfully acknowledge the people of the lands on which I work today, in particular the Gunai Nation. I am in Gippsland, so those are my people. They are the traditional custodians of the land on where I am today. Landcare Victoria also takes inspiration from the legacy of Victorian Aboriginal people who have produced food while caring for the ecological systems that life depends upon for tens of thousands of years. Mel, if you want to go to the next two slides. Yep. So today, this webinar, I'm going to hand it over to our key presenters, Melanie and Heidi from RuralBiz. This is basically their webinar. I'll just give you a quick introduction to Melanie Muller and Heidi McKilnia. I hope that's okay, Heidi. So they both work for RuralBiz Training. Mel is a business development coordinator and Heidi is a community engagement specialist. So Melanie has a background. She grew up on I think you grew up on a dairy farm, Mel?
I did. I did. Fond memories.
And I'm sure she'll introduce herself a little bit better, but I know she's got an interest in fine arts and a degree in fine arts as well. But she has extensive experience also in stakeholder engagement and marketing, and also very passionate about agriculture and loves helping students find the perfect training path. And now Heidi, which I only met this morning, Heidi is motivated by the challenge of co-designing sustainable solutions to existing problems in regional Australia through collaboration with full range of stakeholders in the space. She has 20 years experience in regional development projects in community and not-for-profit and corporate sectors. And her strengths are communication, facilitation, engagement, and education. She's based in New South Wales, the Northern Tablelands, and I believe she likes to grow food. I believe she also likes to has a few animals, Heidi, not sure what kind, yeah, and she loves to spend time in wild places, and she's very thankful for all those things. So these are they, and I will, I think, hand over now to you to continue the webinar.
Thanks so much, Anna. That's a great introduction, and I really appreciate it. Before we get started, I'd like to acknowledge that I'm coming to you from Wiradjuri land up in Dubbo in central New South Wales. I'd like to pay our respects to the elders past and present and emerging of the Wiradjuri Nation and thank them for their care of the land, the water, the sky, and extend that respect to all other Indigenous Australians. What we're here to talk to you about today is the Landcare Agricultural Connections project. So this is a project that we've initiated and is being funded through the Victorian Government's Agriculture, TAFE and Training Fund. And we're also being really well supported by the great team at Landcare Victoria. So thank you so much for having us. It really is a pleasure to be here, as Heidi mentioned. My name's Melanie. I work as a business development manager for RuralBiz Training, and I've been here for about 7 years. And I do have a bit of a background in the arts, but some roots in agriculture when my earliest memories were growing up on the farm. So it's something that just is really important to me. And I love the idea of this lifelong education for farmers and for people who are connected in those agricultural communities. So the Landcare Agricultural Connections project is around building resilient, profitable, sustainable agricultural communities. So we're trying to do this by developing some really targeted skills and reducing some barriers to training. So we are opening this project to Landcare professionals who are engaged in agricultural communities. So ideally, this will be a good fit for you if you're a Landcare facilitator or professional working in communities where you're working with a lot of farmers. There's sort of a couple of different streams to this project. So the development of new training materials, which is through the community coordination and facilitation skills. So these skills come from a qualification called the Diploma of Community Group Coordination and Facilitation. Now, this is something that has been around in the national training package for some time. And a couple of years ago, the government went, you know what, no one's really been doing this for a while, let's just axe it. So we entered into a process where we spoke with a lot of land care stakeholders and said, you know, tell us what you need. This is really the only qualification that we're aware of that's a really good fit for Landcare facilitators. So we did some work with a lot of different Landcare stakeholders, and we've hopefully made it into something that will be really useful for facilitators as we move forward. And this project has then stemmed out of that redevelopment. So basically the project is trying to acknowledge and leverage the skills that, you know, Landcare professionals have this unique connected engagement with agricultural communities. All of the extension work that you do, all of the workshops that you run, and that's what we're trying to sort of improve your skills in those community group management and facilitation so that you can keep doing what you're doing and extend those skills even further. So who are RuralBiz Training? We are a registered training organisation, which is exactly this, what TAFE is, except we're privately owned and we just specialise in agricultural training. So under that agriculture banner, we include agriculture, especially the production management and farm business management. We do agribusiness management, production, horticulture, agronomy, and community coordination and facilitation, which is really designed specifically from the ground up for Landcare facilitators. We also sort of the scope of our registration kind of covers from certificate for diploma and advanced diploma levels. We spend quite a bit of time trying to make sure that the training is a good fit for our students. So one of the biggest indicators of successful study is making sure that you sign up for a course that's appropriate for you. So this particular skill set has been designed for Landcare facilitators specifically within agricultural communities and networks. The way that the assessment tasks are structured is that you'll be using your Landcare group or network as a basis for your assessment tasks. So when we're looking at some of the units, the assessment tasks will actually be, you'll be using your Landcare group as a case study for that, which means that you can kind of contextualize it within the activities that your Landcare group is doing. The other big thing that is important is that you can commit time to complete your coursework. The skill set for community coordination and facilitation covers 5 units, which is 50% of the diploma. So we would anticipate that it would take you about 12 months probably to complete all of the units within that skill set. Time commitment per week will vary from student to student and from unit to unit. Some of the units have a higher workload than others, but we say as a rule of thumb, sort of 10 to 15 hours a week, but that varies really widely from student to student, I've got to say. The Landcare professional skill set, these are the 5 units that it covers. So we're hoping that you will develop a range of useful skills, including the basics in soil testing and interpretation, workplace health and safety within agricultural systems, budget monitoring and reporting, how to help your Landcare group identify environmental or land management issues, help facilitate the development of priorities, goals and projects within your Landcare group, and how to navigate change that might be affecting your Landcare group either through internal changes or external changes. So the 5 units covered in the professional skill set is sample soils and interpret results, manage workplace health and safety processes, prepare and monitor budgets and financial reports, facilitate the development of group goals and projects, and support group and community changes in resource management. I'm going to pass over to Heidi McElnay, who is our community coordination and engagement trainer. Heidi?
Yeah, hi, thanks, Mel. Good to meet you all today, and thanks so much for joining us. I know it's really hard with the weather and all the challenges at the moment. You can see the phonetic pronunciation of my name underneath my face there on the slide, so McElnay, and I'm a trainer with RuralBiz, and I live on a small permaculture property in the New England tableland region of New South Wales, which is banned by Ananawan country. And dairy, goats and ducks are some of my main animals. And my main work is communities on sustainability projects, working with communities on sustainability projects. And I've worked a lot with volunteers in regional areas. My background is in sustainability, communications, facilitation and engagement. And I've been teaching in this field for around 10 years. So the 2 units that I'm leading with for RuralBiz for the Landcare professional skill set that I want to tell you a little bit more about today is this 502, facilitate development of group goals and projects, and 504, support group and community changes in resource management. So both units provide strategies to help you work with your group, your partners and the broader community for great project outcomes. Both units have a practical focus, so you can put ideas and techniques into practice straight away. And we draw on examples and case studies of other Landcare groups like yours in the course material. So facilitate development of group goals and projects. This course is designed to help you reflect on what you're working with in your own groups, what's working well, and what areas could be strengthened. It's designed to support your role as a coordinator or facilitator, to improve your skills and confidence in facilitation, and to help set a framework for your group to work together to identify and develop projects for your area. So we'll look at facilitator styles and approaches, what approaches are best for different situations, how to be adaptive and responsive to help keep your group members engaged and working well together. And to also make sure that people step up and fulfill roles that they're interested in and align with their own growth and interest areas, and so you're not just doing all the work yourself. We work through the process of developing action plans and strategies, setting goals and priorities, through to working with groups to define projects and putting together a targeted submission to resource these projects. So for 504, support group and community changes in resource management. In this unit, we look at the different ways people may respond to change and how to effectively support them through that. Changes might be an external pressure, like a drought or a change to legislation, or an internal change, like changes that are being made within your organisation. We look at values theory and how that can help us to understand the questions or concerns group members may have. We look at change management strategies and strength-based approaches to working with groups. And as Mel said, it's designed for you to complete as you are working with your group, so you can apply the ideas straight away and use your experiences that you're having with your groups for your assessment. And the unit also includes relevant examples of how different groups like yours have responded to change and with some great outcomes. So Mel, I might hand back over to you.
Thanks, Heidi. Heidi's actually basically written these units from the ground up, and so she'll be the trainer and assessor in those units, so she has a really thorough understanding there and will be able to support you as you move through if you choose to undertake this skill set. The other opportunity that's part of this project is that we have some skill sets available for people who are farming in Victoria. So you may want to encourage farmers in your network to upskill by enrolling in one of these skill sets. It's a entry requirement that these participants would have access to a farm that they could base their assessment tasks on. So the way that works, I'll use the example of the farm planning unit. So the options there are crop production, farm business management, farm planning, healthy soils, or managing livestock. So with the farm planning unit, that's a unit where the participants will use farm mapping software to map out their farm or a section of their farm. And through that process, they will conduct an audit on many different aspects of their operations. So they'll look at their infrastructure, their soil types, their land capability, their water resources, their environmental land use, the cultural heritage of their farm, and their production history. They'll then, once that data is all being collected and analysed, they sort of do a bit of a SWOT analysis for their farm plan, and then they come out with some goals and some farm business directions that they might want to go in. So that's a really in-depth single unit skill set that and that's why we're saying that you need to have access to a farm, because all of the coursework is online and flexible, but you provide the farm, or those participants provide their farm, and facilitators will provide their Landcare group as a basis for their assessments. So what to expect when you're studying with us and from the training? So the selected units in the Landcare professional skill set have been chosen to align with Victorian Landcare professionals' knowledge and skills framework. The courses are very self-paced, and as I mentioned, your assessments are going to be based on your Landcare group and a farm. A standard enrolment in a unit you can expect to be 8 weeks, and you can request extensions of up to another 8 weeks at any time, pretty much no questions asked. And for most of our students, that 8+8 time frame gives you the flexibility to be able to manage your job, things that are happening on the farm, unpredictable events like bushfires or floods, things like that. Usually that 8+8 timeframe gives you the flexibility to balance life and the farm and work with your course load. So we typically enroll 1 unit at a time, just to try and keep all of our participants focused. And you can request a second unit, but really we're never going to open more than 2 units at a time, just because we find that that really is the best method for keeping you focused and progressing through the units. We do have some ongoing support that will be offered to you throughout your studies. So one of our guardian angels will reach out to you on a regular basis to help resolve any issues that might come up, check how you're going with your studies, and give you a little bit of a nudge if you need it. The guardian angels will send you a message every 2 or 3 weeks to check in, and they're kind of our go-to point of contact. So if you are having any problems, of course you can call our office during business hours, but your guardian angel is there to help resolve those issues as you move through your study. The units that we're offering are all nationally accredited training, so they are recognised throughout Australia as being of a particular standard and would be eligible for credit transfer into future study. So if you chose to go and do other study with another provider like TAFE, or if you wanted to continue your study, you would have the option. So participants in the coordination skill set will be offered the opportunity, should they wish to continue into the diploma at the end of their studies. The other thing is that we would also hope that all facilitators coming into the program will complete a self-assessment against the Landcare professionals' knowledge and skill framework. There's a self-assessment tool there that you guys probably are all familiar with, but we'd have you do that at the beginning and at the end of your training, so that you can kind of do a self-evaluation on if the training has actually helped you progress along that framework. with regards to the enrolment process, we are keeping enrolments open until the 31st of March. You can enroll at any time. And once you enroll, you'll commence your studies once the enrolment processes are complete. So those processes involve completing an enrolment application from our website, and that's just a little screen grab of what you would expect our website to look like. Once your enrolment form has been received, you will receive a confirmation email, and in that email is a link to just book in a pre-enrolment chat with me, and that's one of the steps we take in making sure that the course is going to be a good fit for you. You're well informed, you understand everything, you can ask any questions that you've got. So that's what we do. That takes about 15 minutes normally. Once your pre-enrolment chat is complete, all of our incoming students complete a standard literacy and numeracy assessment. This is part of our government compliance and also lets us know that if you are likely to need any help with reading or numeracy, then we can make sure you know what options are available to you. The cost of the skill sets is $480 per skill set. That is quite heavily subsidised. So that price applies to the Landcare Professionals skill set, which has the 5 units, and it also is the same cost for all of the farmer skill sets. The Landcare Profession, these units are usually about $1,100 per unit. So that's quite a subsidised offering that's part of this project. So the course co-contribution $480. Once that's done, basically you'll be sent your training plan, which is the units that you're doing, the order that you're going to do them in, and our expected timeframes, and then you'll get started. So with any units that you are completing, the course materials are available online. However, some units do have additional resources such as textbooks or soil testing kits, and that sort of stuff will come out in the post to you. No additional charges for that. And the other thing is that the soil testing unit's one of the ones that the Landcare facilitators complete. In that unit, you'll be instructed on how to successfully collect a soil sample. We pay to have that soil test analysed by a professional lab. You receive the results back to you, and then your assessment task is around interpreting that soil analysis. So that's there to really help build those skills. But any software that's required for a unit, any textbooks that are required, or soil tests that are required will be provided for you as part of this program. And I think that's really the rundown of it. I'll be delighted to answer any questions that anyone might have. If you'd like to visit our website, you can scan that QR code there, or just Google ruralbiztraining.com.au and you'll find us there. And I think it's back over to you, Anna.
Oh, thank you, Mel. Thanks, Heidi. Yes, I think this is sounds like a very good opportunity at low cost. Yeah, to very great program with free soil tests, but they do cost money. Yeah, but thanks. Yeah, thanks again, Mel and Heidi, for coming in and providing this feedback. Obviously, some of you might be interested in this. Some of you might know someone that is interested in this. But feel free, give Mel a call, or to discuss if you want to engage. Do you mind putting the next slide up?
Sure.
Mel. So we will, I'll put this slide up, but we will be taking questions. I'm not sure. So there's not a lot of us at this webinar. I didn't expect that, but if you have questions, you can either pop them in the chat and I'll verbalize it. And if not, you're more than welcome to unmute yourself and have a chat with us. I'll give it a couple of minutes, or 1 minute if no one says anything, but I think Alicia is going to talk.
Yeah, I've got a question. It sounds like an amazing opportunity and an unbeatable price. I think probably my biggest concern about it is the time commitment. and I had some back and forth emailing with Melanie about this, I believe. I understand this is probably something that would need to be worked out on an individual basis between a facilitator and their committee or employer, but what do you foresee as some of the potential arrangements for the study time? Would people be doing this as part of their working hours or separate if they work part-time? Would they be taking leave potentially to do it? I guess, yeah, what do you see as some of the different arrangements that might be possible?
I think that is something that does need to be worked out between each participant and your committee or your network, because everybody is different. A lot of people undertake this study in addition to their job role, because it is ultimately professional development and learning for you. And a lot of people do a blended, they might be supported by their employer, and the employer might say, I'll give you a little bit of time to dedicate to your coursework, because it is so directly related to what you're doing in your job role. And other committees may not have the capacity to be able to do that. So everybody's situation is a little bit different, and it does really depend on the arrangement that you can negotiate, I guess, with your network. There was a question in the chat around different topics for leadership, or like different topics for Landcare and for agriculture. So ultimately, I think there's about 6 different skill sets that are on offer, and some Landcare facilitators have expressed interest in just perhaps doing the soils skill set, which is not such a big commitment. As I might just flick back to So that's the agricultural focused skill sets there. One around crop production. There's 3 units in that skill set. Farm business management is really around the business planning, how you analyze and monitor business performance, and that budget and financial reports. And that will take a look at enterprise budgeting within a farm context. The farm planning unit I've been through fairly thoroughly. Healthy soils is 2 units, so sampling soils and then monitoring and manage soils with a production focus. And then 3 livestock production units for the managing livestock skill set. So those 5 skill sets are really targeted towards existing agricultural workers. It doesn't preclude Landcare facilitators from doing any of those. However, the community coordination and facilitation skill set is the one that's really been designed to align with that Landcare knowledge and skills framework. So we went through some consultation with Landcare before we launched this project around which units would be a fit, and so this is what we've come up with. So they're the different options that are available for you as professionals or for workers. And I know some of you may be farmers and Landcare professionals, so that may influence the decisions you make around which skill set would be appropriate for you.
Thanks, Mel.
That's all right.
Is anyone else going to venture into a question?
Feel free to shoot me an email or anything if you do have a question and you don't think of it till after, or give me a call. Not at all scary. More than happy to have a chat, and more than happy to sort of kind of talk through the questions and help you figure out if really it is viable for you to, sign up for this training. If you were to commence the training and you realize that it wasn't a fit for you, or something, your life changed and you no longer had the capacity to be able to do the training, then you can withdraw, and we would just issue a statement of attainment for any units that you had completed before that time.
Mel, so Lynette's asking if the group goals topic, if it'll help them develop a strategic plan.
I'll leave that one to Heidi.
I'll probably answer that. assumes that there probably is a strategic plan for the group already in place to refer to, but there's certainly a lot of processes that would help you to develop a strategic plan if your group didn't already have one. So that it would be useful for that, I would say.
Thank you. All right. So again, please feel free to ask another question. Yeah, Lynette, there's something we Landcare Victoria also thought about doing something about strategic planning, but it is something that cannot be done at a webinar. We don't think so. You know, an opportunity for it's really a good opportunity for a workshop. But yeah, we'll keep looking into that. So I think we will continue. Again, I will be sending the slides to everyone that it was registered today. And so those contacts will be there. Feel free to reach to Mel or to forward the information to anyone that you think might be interested in this. I really do think there's a great opportunity because there's actually not a lot of training that is dedicated to Landcare professionals. You know, we might have an environmental degree or we might just have experience, but it is hard to just have, you know, something on your CV. They'll say that you do have specific Landcare training. Yes, I do think it's well worth covering. So some information that might be useful to some of you of future events that we Landcare are doing in this month. We have it's the first of our 3 webinars this month. It's quite a busy month. So we got next Tuesday we've got the container deposit scheme. They'll be of interest for you know, all the community groups that might be interested in registering for this scheme to collect, you know, the 10 cents on each bottle or can that can fundraise for their group, or they can donate to Landcare Victoria if they wish. But yeah, they'll be coming up. And then after that, we got a media 2-part webinar. So media basics and media engagement, that will be with the Climate Media Centre. 2 really great workshops. One of them will include a case study and a save the date. So for you in particular, we have our professional forum that will be held in Bendigo this year on the 8th of May. We have a very our program is pretty much finalized now. It's looking really good. It's a great opportunity for networking as well. Tickets will come on sale at the end of the month. And for your community, the Landcare Forum will be on the 9th and 10th of May, again in Bendigo. There's also a really good opportunity that I really want to flag out to you, if you're not aware of it, and please consider it. Because it is an opportunity just for Victoria. So I will read it. So the Sydney Plowman Award, that is an award for Landcare professionals. Everyone in this room can actually apply, I believe. So anyone, so facilitators, managers, project officers, DECA staff, Agricultural Victoria staff, CMA staff, Melbourne Water staff, so anyone can apply. You do have to have some experience in soil conservation, land management, you know, which most of you would have if you are working with Landcare. It's $4,000 for a scholarship, $4,000 that you can use for travel and study. So you could, for example, use that for doing this course. And still a lot of money left, so you can use it for traveling. And I really recommend any of you apply because yeah, again, it's a Victorian award, so good chances of you getting it. So I believe that's it for today. I hope I can see some of you at the next event. So the next webinars, because they are community focused webinar, they will be held at 5:30 p.m. not at 1:30, because that's the time that suits most volunteers. But what did you think of the time today for professionals? Did you think 1:30 was a good time, or do you still prefer to do it at later in the day?
This time of the day works for me, and some of the people
Good.
that I work with. But yeah, I understand for a lot of people, some of us it's our day off, so we've just got to work around that. But I never think you're never going to get everybody at once, and it's always a tricky one.
No, that's right. We just thought facilitate, professionals will be working. This should be part of their professional development, and so they should be able to attend these things during the day. Anyway, so that is me. Thanks again to everyone for coming today, and hope to see you again next week or the week after. And thanks so much, Mel and Heidi, for coming and dissecting the course. And yeah, and hopefully some of you will sign up.
Thanks so much for having us. It was really a pleasure to be here, and I look forward to answering any other questions you guys might have.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks so much for having us.
You're welcome.